Hi everybody, this is Azita and welcome to another parenting education in this channel. Today's program is about how to avoid power struggles with your child. Before I talk about it, I'm going to tell you why it's not good to have the power struggle and why actually it's happening, and then give you some tips. So why is it happening? Couple of reasons. Number one is a child who engages in power struggle is because maybe the parent is too domineering, too ordering, and challenges the child's sense of power. So basically, if you are using your power as an adult, because as an adult you are powerful, if you're using it too much to your advantage because you're powerful, then your child is gonna inherently object, and that's actually a very healthy sign, because your child has a sense of self, wants to say I'm somebody, so whatever you say I'm not gonna obey. And that brings me to another thing that I wanted to say, which is a good news, that children who actually engage in power struggle, they are healthier than children that avoid power struggle. They are healthier than children who obey. So it might be better for you. You might think that you have a better child, but psychologically speaking, it's not true. Because a child who's obedient is a child who does not dare to say no, I have a different opinion, is the child who does not dare to want something different. And psychologically speaking, that is not good. So if you have a child who is engaging with power struggle with you, you should actually be happy. It means you have a healthier child. Now, other reasons that they are engaging with power struggle is, in fact, they might not feel that strong inside to begin with, and not doing what you ask them to do is claiming that tiny bit of a power that they have, which is about their action. So we want to give that to them because they are entitled to have that power. It's good for them. But of course, not in a way that they constantly negate you and create so many annoying situations for you that make you so upset that you constantly would say no to them or get angry or things like that. Okay, so now it brings me to the topic of why is it actually important not to engage in power struggle. If you engage in it, you're going to exert power because you're older. And that, as I mentioned, is going to kill your child's sense of power. And we don't want to do that. If you engage with it at the same time, you will be in disadvantage because children have a way of annoying parents, and it would be a lose-lose situation. Another reason is, if you engage with it and your child is very stubborn and you're exhausted and overwhelmed and you have a tendency to say, okay, fine, don't do it, I'm gonna do it, and basically back off, then you're giving the message to your child that he or she can do whatever she wants. And it gives a sense of pseudo power, a bad power, a wrong power to your child, which you don't want to create. So we want to avoid creating pseudo power, because children, believe me or not, are quite powerful and they can annoy the parent like crazy. Okay, so that is why these are the reasons we do not want to have power struggle with our children. Now it brings me to the core of this video, which is what to do, how to avoid the power struggle. The first tip I have for you is try to stay away from ordering them. Direct order, do this, do that, because it puts you in a power situation, and unless you are, sorry to say, power freak, which is not good. You don't exert your power with your children. So you don't order them. You can say in a different way, we have to do something and let's do it. Use the phrase of let's do such and such. This way you are inviting them as opposed to ordering them. As a result, you're not challenging their power and you're avoiding the power struggle. When you engage them in an activity, the tip number 2 is appreciate it. Thank them. Praise them for what they did. And really mean it. Because that's how they get motivated. That's how when you ask them something, it's a good thing for them to do, not a torture. And put what you want to do in a context. Like, we have to do this, we have to clean the house, because when we clean it, mommy or daddy is having a better relaxed time. They get less angry, we get less angry, we are calmer. It's nicer to be in a cleaner area. Put it in the context of why it has to happen. And this way the child gets a sense and therefore is not going to engage with you with a power struggle. Another tip is pair it with rewards. Like, for instance, you can say, if you clean this, or if you do this, if you clean your room, then I will have more time to spend with you. We can have our story time together longer. I can hear what you have to say. I can play with you more. So this gives a reason for your child to cooperate with you, and as a result, avoid the power struggle. So pair it with rewards and pair it with fun. The more fun you can bring your request in, to put it in the context of fun, the more successful you be. Because the child says, hey, I want to do this, and therefore, since I want to do this, I have power and I'm deciding to do this. You see what I mean? So basically, what I'm basically saying is, in order to avoid power struggle, is to give power to your children. Give power to your children indirectly, in other occasions, and while you're asking your child. The more power you give your children, appropriate power, remember, we want to avoid pseudo power. Okay, so what are the other ways to give your child power? Present what you want to do and what you want your child to do as a teamwork approach. So you would say, this is something we have to do in our household and we are a team, and I would like to hear your opinions. So ask them for their opinions. How do you think it's good to do what I want to do or what we have to do? I want to hear it. And you have to mean that you're really, genuinely are interested in what they are saying, their ideas. That genuineness inside you to want to know is what is empowering your child. Because the child says, hey, I am powerful. I have good ideas, therefore I'm powerful. That my mom or dad is listening to me. Does that make sense? And build on their opinion. Now, if their ideas that are providing for you are ridiculous, don't make sense, is irrelevant, please do not say that was horrible, what kind of an idea it is. So I have this sandwich technique which I want to tell you, and it's like this. This is the bread and this is the bread, and inside is what you want your child to learn or make it better in her next approach in doing things. These breads are the praise breads. You praise what your child did correctly. You appreciate that. You make it as specific as possible and bring it to your child's attention. And you close your sandwich with the same thing. So that part of it you did excellent, the other part you did fabulous. I liked how quickly you did it. I liked how completely you did it, and you close it with the same thing. So these are your two breads. Inside is what the child needs to make better, needs improvement. But so this is how it would be, that meat. You know, that part that was left behind, you have to put attention to it. And why was it left behind? And you brainstorm about different ways of making it better. So that's the sandwich technique. Please remember it. It's a very, very good, powerful technique. And it helps you avoid power struggle. Okay, let me see. Now, another thing that I want to leave you with is, if your child doesn't do it at all times, and engages you with the power struggle and challenge you, is we have to sit down and see what you're doing wrong. Because you as a parent have more power, and if your child is challenging it, it means you have not doing it correctly. Now, if there are reasons, other reasons, or whatever reason it is, it's important to tell your child, I can see that you are not doing what I ask you to do, and I want to know why. Now you say it respectfully. Remember, your children are human beings. We do not crush their sense of self. We do not crush their sense of power. We don't crush their sense of identity and pride. They are human beings, tiny ones. So I can see you're not doing it, and I want to know why. Is there any way we can make it happen, because it has to happen? Now you give me your ideas, but tell me why it's not happening. Is mommy saying it in a way that makes you feel bad? By the way, being humble is really, really powerful. It doesn't mean you are a weak parent. It means you're actually extremely powerful and humble, and you're teaching that to your child. So when you question why they are not doing it, you're respecting them, and as a result, you're empowering them. And as a result, avoid that power struggle that we want to avoid. I'm going to close this video with what was the gist of the whole video, which is, if you want to avoid power struggles with your children, give them power in other circumstances and the way you deal with them. Hope this video has been helpful for you. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, share it, and I am also live on my Instagram Monday mornings 11 a.m. Los Angeles time. You can join and ask any questions you might have, and I address them. Be well and see you on next video. Goodbye.